So now we are 9 weeks into the NFL season. The Packers are sitting here at 3-6, currently on a 5-game losing streak. And the question I want to talk about in this video is, where do the Packers go from here? So first off, to take a look back to this offseason, the Packers go down in the playoffs against the 49ers. The offseason begins. We don't know what's going to happen. Will Aaron Rodgers stay? Will he retire? Will he get traded? The Packers come in, give him a long-term extension, and then just a couple weeks later, Davante Adams gets traded to the Las Vegas Raiders. And at that moment, I still thought the Packers would find a way to be a very competitive team, because when you look back at last year, just how talented they were, how dominant they were in the regular season, finishing as the #1 seed with Davante Adams and this Packers offense, I thought that, okay, we lose Davante, clearly maybe things take some time to get clicking again, but we still have Rodgers. If we add some young weapons, we add some other players like Sammy Watkins, then I think that this offense can still be good enough to get the Packers to the playoffs and still have a chance to come in and win a Super Bowl. Now, looking at this, it seems like even though it felt like the Packers could have been competitive, they have not been whatsoever. So when we look at the Packers offseason, Brian Gutekunst deciding to continue to try to make things happen with Rodgers, which I think was a smart plan. There was a debate of should the Packers trade Aaron Rodgers. Looking in hindsight, I could see why someone would say, okay, well, looking at how poorly the Packers are playing now, it would have been nice if we got tons of draft capital. But hindsight is 2020, and I think there was no telling that the Packers were going to be this bad. And it's really obviously unfortunate that the Packers are sitting in the position they currently are sitting in. So now at 3-6, obviously we still mathematically have a chance to make the playoffs, but the playoff chances seem pretty slim right now. The Packers would have to completely turn around everything and start winning tons of games, which, there's a small percent chance that happens. But from what we've seen from the Packers so far this year, it really seems like this isn't even a playoff team, which is crazy to think about, considering all the hope and expectation we had going into the season. So these next few weeks, we'll really see what happens here. Already losing 5 games in a row, facing off against the Cowboys next week. If we can win the next, 3 games in a row, maybe we'll sit here and say, okay, well, maybe the Packers have a chance. But that's a big if, because from what we've seen the past 5 weeks, it would be tough to beat a team like the Cowboys, who have been playing very, very well recently. So now it has me wondering what is going to happen after this season, because after a couple losses, you're like, okay, we're going to figure this out. But now after 5 in a row, it has me thinking more about the future and what the Packers' plan will be going into the future, because, of course, we already gave Aaron Rodgers that extension. And the question for Rodgers is now, if this continues, if the Packers don't make the playoffs and continue as they've been playing, will Rodgers want to return to Green Bay? Will he decide to hang it up because he doesn't want to return to a team that's playing at this level and just say, you know what, it's been a good run, let me retire? I think that's definitely in the realm of possibilities right now for Aaron Rodgers. And then from that point on, obviously the Packers giving him that big contract sort of hurts when it comes to the dead cap situation, but that definitely could be the case. And so the Packers are definitely in a pretty tough situation going forward in the future with all the money they paid Aaron Rodgers, with the way the team has struggled. I just don't think anyone really saw it coming like this. Brian Gutekunst was willing to go in and say, you know what, let's take at least a few more years, try to get another Super Bowl before Rodgers retires, which I am glad he did, because I wanted Rodgers back here in Green Bay. But it hasn't gone to plan. In this past week, Rodgers probably had one of the worst games he's had in a very long time, which is unfortunate against a very not great Detroit Lions team. So now with all the injuries here in Green Bay as well, it's even worse with Rashawn Gary out for the season. Romeo Doubs, high ankle sprain, likely out at least a few weeks, maybe more. Who knows? Eric Stokes, there's worries to how long he will be out. So this team has already been playing poorly, and now we're losing some of our best players on this team. So now the question is, what happens here in the future for the Packers? So feel free to comment your thoughts. What do you think the Packers should do after this year? The year's not quite over yet, but the way things are looking right now, soon, eventually in the next couple months, the Packers will likely be out of the playoff talk, like 100% officially. I hope that they turn it around, but as I've said the past few weeks, nothing in the past has shown us that it will happen, but anything is possible, as I say. But it does have us in a interesting situation for the future of this franchise. Will we, move to Jordan Love? Will we, continue playing with Rodgers? Who knows? There's so many uncertainties now for the Packers. But I just want to come and give you guys a quick little video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.